So we're going to do parallel and through a point. Parallel and through a point. Okay? First step, what I want you to do, now actually I'm going to show you kind of a preview. I'm going to show you the plan first, so don't do anything yet, don't write anything down. The first thing we're going to do, we're basically going to create a transversal. We're going to create a transversal. And then what we're going to do, we're going to do a construction we've already learned before. We're going to copy an angle. So what we're going to do, I'm going to take this angle right here, and I'm going to copy it up to angle M. And what does that basically create by copying that angle? It creates corresponding angles that are congruent. So therefore, the converse says that the lines will be parallel. That's kind of our plan, okay? So first step. First thing I want you to do, deleted my M. Take your straight edge and draw a line, use your straight edge, and draw a line through M and through your line.
Are we doing this on number one?
Yep.
Like to draw through X?
Yep, through point X. It doesn't matter which way the line is angled. I would do it the way I'm doing it, so yours kind of looks like mine as we do it together. But it doesn't matter. Basically, we just need a transversal to start with. Now, make sure, real quick, look up here. Remember, the angle is going to be kind of up here-ish. So make sure your line goes kind of up and past point X.
One.
Okay, next step. Do we all have that? I have a handy-dandy compass. Oops. So now what you're going to do, place the point, and I'm going to call this point A, just so you know what I'm talking about. This intersection that we just made is point A. You're going to take your compass and place the point at A, the point of the compass, and then you're going to, this is like an old school compass. Have you seen one of these before?
Yes, I love them.
Now, basically, you need your pencil to be within point X. You want it to be underneath it. And then what you're going to do, you're going to create an arc. So basically, we're creating our alligator mouths, right?
Easy. Yeah.
This part of it is not new. We've done this before. So make a little arc.
A little arc.
And to copy an angle, you also have to put an arc at the angle you want to move it to. So now, watch this. I'm going to take my point, and I'm going to move it up to M, and then I'm going to make another arc, another alligator mouth. Make it pretty big, because we don't know how big the alligator's mouth is yet, so it's better too big than not big enough. Right. The next step, place your point. I'm going to call this, just so you know what I'm talking about. This is B, and this is C. Those two intersections that our first arc just made. Now remember, this is where we copy the alligator mouth, right? So think of B and C are like the alligator's teeth. So take the point of your compass and put it at B, and then open up your pencil slider so that you can see the hole. You can see the point C through the hole. So obviously that's the width. So the point is at B, and the pencil slider is at C. We good with that? Now the only thing that we have left to do, now notice where I move the point to. I'm not moving the point to M. I'm moving the point to the arc, to the alligator's mouth, the teeth. So put your point at this top intersection. I'll call it point F.
And the other one is point G.
And then you're going to make a little baby arc to create an X marks the spot. What do you think this X marks the spot is?
Drawing a line
Point
through.
G.
That is the point that we need to go through to create your parallel line. So now what you're going to do, you're going to use your straight edge and draw a line through both of those points. Mine's a little bit off. But it should be pretty close to parallel.
Points or lines.
And it's kind of cool because the arcs of the compass are kind of like the congruent arcs, right? And it's true that those angles would be congruent because the lines are parallel. It's the converse. If the angles are congruent, which they are, that's the whole point of making a copy. It's the same size. Then the lines are parallel. So what can we now put on our lines?
Whoa.
Arrows.
A couple arrows.
And they are lines L and D.
We're now going to do perpendicular and through a point. Okay, so start off, put your point at point X, or yours is point P. Now, I'll tell you, this one is more centered. We need a little bit of space above and a little bit of space below. Your last construction, most of the construction took place up above the line. This one's like split, okay? So what you're going to do, your point is at the point. You're going to open up so your slider is a little bit underneath the line. Not a lot of it, just a little bit. Otherwise, it's going to be off. It's going to be just way too big or whatever. And then what you're going to do, you're going to do a little pendulum swing. You know what a pendulum is?
Yes.
Like a grandfather clock pendulum. You're just going to make a little pendulum boat. Like so. Now, that should create two new intersections. I'll call them Y and Z.
I'm pretty sure Mr. and Mr. Garcia are obsessed with pendulums. Okay.
Really?
They made us do it like every time we march. It's how we're supposed to march. Weirdest thing ever.
Oops, I shouldn't have touched that. Okay, now keep your compass the same. Now, everything else we do from now on, we've actually done before. Basically, what we're going to do, we're going to do the perpendicular bisector of YZ. So what I want you to do now, put your compass point at Y.
Fine.
Put your compass point at Y. And what do you notice, if you haven't touched it yet, what do you notice about your pencil and point X?
They go up.
Yeah, it should go through point X, right?
Just a little bit.
It should be perfect as long as you haven't touched your slider. Because the only thing we did is we changed from X to Y to X. It's the same distance, right? Now what you're going to do, you're going to do a little arc up above. And then you're going to do a little arc down below.
I know what we're doing.
You remember this one? Some of you just do like a full half circle. Oops. Some of you do just like a full half circle. That's fine. If you want to connect them.
I'm so confused.
Okay, we're
The
going
arcs have to be
to
like
do a few more after this.
as like articulate as the ones.
Yep. Okay, now, do you guys remember what we do next? Yeah, you just move over to point Z. So I'm going to flip my compass the other way. I'm going to move over to point Z. And then you're going to do an arc down below, an arc up above, or if you want to do like one big half circle, that's fine. Now, if you did a really good job, both of those arcs should have gone right through point X. As long as you kept the slider the same. Now, it might not be great because this is the first time we've done it. But basically, X and X marks the spot are the 2 points on your perpendicular line. So now you're going to take your straight edge, and you're just going to create a line that goes from X through the X marks the spot down bottom. And if you did a really good job, it should be a perfect right angle. And how do we mark perpendicular lines?
A box.
Yeah, a little box. So you can go ahead and put a little box in the corner.
Don't know what happened.